Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And today's video I'll be teaching you guys how to add a game over stream, how to add username to your game, and how to add score. So from the last episode we just added a player and we made a ground and made the player move around. And right now I added this sprite called a basket. I just asked an AI to make it for me. So and what I did was just remove the texture, I mean the background, and I'll just place this sprite to the sprite render, and now I'm going to adjust its size in the scene view. So I'll just adjust it by pressing R and change the X to 0.2 and the Y to 0.2 as well. And let's see how it looks. Let's go back to the game view, and you guys can see, okay, it doesn't look very good. So 0.3, yeah, I think 0.3 works. Let's just adjust the Y position, and let's go back to the scene view. And over here, what we can do is adjust its collider. So right now actually, you know what, we want to make it the collider as big, exactly as big as the basket. Actually going to make it lower than the handle, so we're going to place it over here. We're not going to make the colliders actually as also like include the handles, yeah, because it will be better when we make when the game finishes. So okay, it's the editing collider has finished, and it looks okay. It looks pretty good. And now what we can do is, what should we do now? Oh yeah, we have. So now guys, we are going to be adding another asset which is called 2D pixel art icon Sprout, and you guys can search it up in the asset store. Link will be in the description, and it is free. And here we can get access to apples and these other very great fruits. And we're going to click add to my asset, and we will be using the apple because our game is literally called Apple Catcher. So I'll be clicking open in Unity, and the package manager should open up because this is also a package. So now I will be clicking download, and I will just dock the package manager to close to the scene and game view, and I'll hit import because the downloading is done. And there we go. And now the 2D pixel art uh, package is downloaded, and you can see the folder right there. Let's double click it, and again we should double click. And on the right, you guys can see the sprites. Let's just click that arrow, and you guys can see all the fruits. And let's go to the demo scene, and here you guys can see everything. Let's go into game view, and there you go. Go to the scenes view again and sample scene, and now we will use them to make a prefab. So now we'll be going in the scene view, and what we're going to do is create a new folder, and we will be calling it prefabs. I'll tell you what is a prefab in a second. So now actually we don't have to go to create. Okay, so what we'll be doing is go inside this 2D pixel art folder and take an apple and then drag it into the hierarchy. So what a prefab is, actually it is like, it's a way which you can, like, access uh, a game object anywhere without having to create it again and assigning all the properties again and again. This is what a prefab is, and we're going to change the sorting layer, order and layer of the player to 1, because we don't want the apple going in on top of the player. So as you guys can see right now, and okay, that looks okay. And I'll be continue explaining what is a prefab. Prefab is basically just like, you know, a game object which you can literally say, like, use everywhere without having to create it again and again. And if you change the prefab in the folder, because the prefab is always in a folder, and remember guys, we have to also put the rigid body 2D to the apple, and we should also add circle collider, because will be this is a circle, apple is a circle, so that's why. And the reason why we're adding rigid body, when we spawn it from the top, right, it just falls down, and the circle collider is because the apple is a circle, almost a circle. So in the prefabs folder, we'll drag the apple here, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so example, For example, you're in a different scene and now you want to use this apple with everything, the rigid body 2D, the sprite is also there, the same size, whatever you want. So you don't want to create it from all over again. You just drag it. That's it. You, c- that's literally it. That's the reason why we use prefabs. You don't have to just create it again, add the rigid body, add the code, add the values. No, no, no. We just have to drag it in. For example, we change the size from the prefab folder itself. It changed it. It changes it for everyone. That's a lot of time saving there. Okay, instead of just going one by one, changing the size. Imagine there's 100 apples. For how long are you going to be changing the sides or anything else? And now what we're going to be doing is go ahead, go actually what we'll be doing is right click, create an empty. We'll call it spawn points. We'll be adding the spawn points for the apples where the apples will spawn. So we'll be calling this spawn points. Okay, and now we right click on it and create another empty and call it spawn point. So these will be like, the location where the apple will spawn randomly, and we'll be adding like 5 locations. So we're going to take this and then place it somewhere here on the left side of the screen, and let's actually not over here. And we'll just control C, control V, and right now there are three, and let's set them to any good value. So -10 for the first one, -5 for the second one, and for the third one, we're going to make it 0. And I think I already made it 0. And I'm just going to rearrange everything, and we just duplicate the other ones. And I will make this one 10, +10, and the next one -5. I mean +5. So you guys can place it however you want. I know what I said was kind of confusing, but I just placed them in an equal value and did like, yeah, that's it. I just added these spawn points, and make sure to put it above the like the that you see that square, the with the white outline above it. That's literally the what the player sees inside the square, what the player sees. Okay, so place it above there, otherwise the player will just see apples popping out of nowhere. And just going to rename the spawn points so it's all in the correct sequence. And we got this ready. The spawn points are good, and now we can right click and create empty, and from here we can rename this to object spawner. Yeah, this will be the object spawner, and this with this we're going to be like spawning in the apples. And I just copied the name, and I'm just going to remove the space in it and click new script. And in this new script we're going to just click create and add. So using this script we will be adding everything all the, and let this compile. We'll be in this script we're going to use all the spawn points we added and make the apple spawn in every single spawn points randomly. So over here you guys can see it's loaded, and let's go ahead and delete these comments on what is start and what is update. First of all, we're going to add some variables, and I'm going to explain what each code does later on. So we're going to create a public variable which is game object to spawn, and I'm going to add a comment to this, write the object to spawn, and another variable which is a public again, and it is transform. Okay, by mistake I wrote something else. Transform, and it is the array spawn point. So this is basically it's a single variable, but it has the capacity to hold many other variables. So basically, it can hold many transforms. You see these five, the spawn points. It will hold all of them together in one variable and still work. And we'll create the rest of the variables. So let's hit enter again, and we'll write public float time between spawns equal to 0.0f. So this is the time between each each apple spawning. So every apple spawn, right? We have to the game has to wait 2 seconds for it to make the other apple. And this is the countdown. This is like we'll set it to 0. So like after 0 second, the apples should start spawning, and we will go ahead in the start method. And what we'll do is we'll just make a countdown function. Like whenever the countdown is below 0 or equal to 0, we spawn an apple. And if it is not 0, we'll just minus equal countdown minus equal time dot delta time. This is what we'll do. Basically, it is getting the amount of time passed, and we'll subtract by the countdown. So we'll write if countdown is less than or equal to 0, we'll write spawn object within this parenthesis. So it's actually a method we haven't created it yet, but we will. So and we'll set countdown to time between spawns. So we're resetting countdown every time it is below 0 and it spawns an object. So it will again be 2 seconds, and again after 2 seconds is passed, it will spawn an object, and again it will be set to 2 seconds, and again 2 seconds is passed, and you get it. Okay, so we'll create the method called spawn object, void spawn object. And over here we'll just create the function for it to like spawn it. We'll write a comment randomly select a spawn point. So out of these spawn points, we will choose one. So we'll write int. Int means integer. Like it will take out of all of this, it will give us one number, and that one number will choose which spawn point are we going to use. So we'll write int random spawn index equal random dot range 0 comma spawn points dot length. Spawn points is like the array variable, the transform array variable, and we're going to make another transform selected spawn point, and we'll equal it to spawn points random spawn index. So the whichever the integer it returns, we are going to we are going to use that spawn point to create the apple game object. I know it may be confusing at the start, but as after you do it many times, you'll get used to it and you will know. So right now we'll do object to spawn, which is the apple. We created the variable on the top, it's a game object. So and comma selected spawn point. Oh, actually I messed up the spelling selected spawn point, so let me add the e and d after the t. So there we go. Dot. All right, what did I mess up? Okay, dot position comma quaternion dot identity. So I'll be explaining what it does. I know it's really confusing. So instantiate will usually create the game object. We are asking it which game object we need to create and everything else. So I'm going to tell you each and everything again and again. So this game object to spawn is the apple which we're going to spawn, which like basically means create. And this is the spawn points. All the spawn points in the Unity we created. We'll go back and I'll show you guys. These all are the spawn points which are going to be stored in that variable. And time between spawns is like the amount of time we have to wait for the next apple to spawn, and you guys can adjust it as you want. And this is the countdown. After 0 second it should start, the first apple should spawn. And in the start method we just make sure that everything here, like every time this if it is, we have to just minus it with the time passed. And then if countdown is less than or equal to 0, we spawn an object, and we call that method, right? Okay, so and then we do countdown equal to time between spawns. So again it will be countdown will become 2 seconds, and again it will subtract by the time has passed. And it will just wait 2 seconds. It's just like every 2 second the apple should spawn. This is what this all code means. And I think I did a mistake, actually. Wait, let me check. Okay, there seems to be no mistake. And let's go to the spawn object. And in the spawn object, actually 1 minute, I made a mistake. Actually, we need to put this code. I press Ctrl X, so I can Ctrl V it here in the update method. We were supposed to put it there instead of in the start method. So in the void spawn object we can see this int random spawn index. It takes from like 0 to the spawn length. Like we have 5 spawn points from 0 to 5, but in Unity, countdown starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So even though we have in total 5 spawn points, it starts from 0. That's why it looks at the end it is 4. So that's why we didn't put 1, comma, spawn points dot length. Because in programming, it is like that. You cannot question it. So out of this like 5 spawn points, it will choose one. For example, if it chooses 3, we will choose the spawn point 2. So in the transform selected spawn point, we will just check with the spawn point which we want, and then in the instantiate we'll fill out all the parameter it's needed. Object spawn, selected spawn point dot position, and quaternion dot identity. Quaternion dot identity is the rotation, and we put identity to make it know that we don't have any rotation. And now we'll go back to the spawn points and open this drop down, and over here we're going to assign the object to spawn, which is the apple, and create more spawn points. This unit array, we have to increase it, and see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to assign every single one of them. There we go, we did it. Okay, now if we play the game, let's see what happens, and I think it should work. And there you go, it works. And there's another glitch. I mean the bug, which I said I was going to fix this video, but the apple still it works. Okay, you guys can see it works in the hierarchy. It's also filling up the hierarchy. So now for this the player issue, what we are going to be doing is right click, create empty, and I'll call it borders. So what we'll be doing is placing uh 2D object instead of 3D object. I don't know why I went there. I'll go to 2D object, sprites, square. And how can the square stop us? Like, it doesn't has any special ability. But wait, we'll go to add component, a box collider 2D in the square game object, and we'll go to the scene view. And what we'll do is just what should we do actually? Okay, we will go ahead and press W and move it to the x-axis with the x-axis arrow, and we're going to minus 14. Yeah, okay, x should be minus 14, and now we'll just press D and move it here and there. Okay, I think that should be good. And if I forgot to mention, holding the middle mouse button, you guys can move here and there. And now in the game scene, we cannot see this. Yeah, it looks better. We cannot see it, and it actually works because we have a box collider, and we just disable the sprite renderer. Now we cannot even see it whatsoever. And I'm going to put it plus 14 because it's minus 14. It should work, and the plus 14 also, and it doesn't. Okay, so we'll just adjust it. I think 9.94 should work. Okay, let's go to the game view and let's hit play, and you guys can see we are not going outside. Yeah, that's great. It's working. Even the apples aren't going outside. So now we know we fixed it. What we are going to do next is let's open up the player movement script, and over here we are going to fix the speed. Actually, we'll go and multiply the speed with time.delta time, so it will be frame rate independent. If whether if laptop is or PC is slow or fast, it will still be working going in the same speed. And now if we change the speed, actually, what's the speed? Okay, never mind. Let's go to the Visual Studio and make this float speed public so we can edit it in the inspector. Actually, let's make it private. We don't want any other script using it, so we'll do private, and then we'll put serialized field, copy what I am doing, and there you go. Let's go back to Unity, and from here, if we go back to player and scroll down, you guys can see we can adjust the speed variable, okay? And if we go ahead and play, we are not moving. It's not any issue. It's because the speed is very slow. How about we make it 50? Hit play. Still not moving. So let's go down. Maybe 500. Will it move? It's not moving. Okay, maybe 5,000. And there you go, it moves. Okay, 5,000 is too much. So we'll go ahead and make it 2,500. And I think it's maybe 2,000 should be good. I think, yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's adjust it a bit more. And 2,000 will be good. Yeah, 2,000 will be, it will be good. And there you go, it is. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, it feels good. I'll hit stop. I'll hit stop. Okay. And now, it just gets reset. So we'll go ahead and write 2,000 again. And now it should, now it is good. Okay. Now it is working. And now what we're going to do next is go ahead and in the prefabs, go ahead and in the app, select Apple and write Apple Manager and hit, actually, go ahead in this assets, like assets folder, and organize the files and the scripts, so nothing is unorganized and we make use of the scripts folder. And go ahead and create an Apple Manager script and attach it to the Apple prefab. And let's wait for it to compile. And it's not compiling. Let's place it in the scripts folder, and again we have to wait for it to compile. And now if we scroll down, we can see the Apple Manager and double click on it, and there you go, it's here. So you may ask, why did we make this? What's the use for it? And why are we calling it Apple Manager? No worries, no worries. We are going to be using it to detect if it touched the ground, and if it did, it just gets destroyed. So it doesn't stacks on each other, and there's no apple staying here. And remember to select is trigger in the circle collider 2D. Otherwise, it is not going to work. Remember. And now what we are going to be doing is let's go back to Unity for a second, and in the ground, select the ground and add the in the tag add tag. Go and press plus and write ground. So we're adding a ground tag, so we know like what we are touching is the ground. So we write if, and we'll write collision dot game object the dot tag equal inside this quotation mark ground. So we're checking if the whatever we collided with is the ground, or is it the borders, is it the player, who is it? But Apple doesn't know, so that's why we're checking. If it is the ground, then we can do destroy game object. So we're destroying the apple. If it touches the ground, destroy itself. So we'll go back to Unity and hit play. And now if we see guys, actually, wait a second. The apple is still there. Okay, it's actually not working. Okay, let's check why. Let's go back to the let's go to the prefab. Okay, we set is trigger. Its trigger is set. Okay, the code is also working. Let's go back to the ground. Oh, we haven't set the ground tag. Select ground, and now if we play, there you go. It works. And whenever the apple touches the ground, it gets destroyed. It doesn't go through it. And even the hierarchy, we can see that it doesn't like stacks up, and it's not infinite. Okay, and now that is working. Okay, now what we will be doing is check if it touched the player, the basket. Write else if, write collision dot game object dot tag equals to player. Okay, remember this thing is like caps lock sensitive. So like even if you write in small letter, whatever you do, you have to make sure that it's literally the exact same. And remember, I'll just write a note for myself, logic for score, and we'll add a comment destroy. Okay, actually no. If we destroy it before the logic, then it won't run the logic because it's not even there. So we'll do it after the logic. We'll write for forward slash 2 times, and we'll do destroy game object. And the destroy game engine, I think we can do it now, but let's wait for Unity to load. And the player, we have to assign the tag player. And now what we can do is in the destroy game object, we can just destroy it right now. This is the easiest thing we can do right now. We'll do destroy game object, and we're going to put the semicolon at the end. And what we can do is for the logic for score. What should we do for this? Okay, how we're going to make it is by using player prefs. Player prefs. So player preference is like, I'll tell you later. Let me write the code and I'll let you know what it is. Okay, so we'll do set in and we'll call it float. No, actually not float. We'll call it score with a capital S. Okay, remember the S is capital and comma, and don't do a spelling mistake. Okay. No, like the names you can write it whatever you want, but later on, once we'll be using it, we have to make sure we do not miss a single spelling. Okay, we don't have to make a spelling mistake. And we'll do player prefs dot get in score and then add one to it. So what the player pref is okay. What is happening? Player pref is player pref is a class that stores player preferences between game session. It can store string, float, and integer values. So it just holds these values from, like, even if you leave the game and start again, the value is still going to be there. And if you like have another like scene, you can still have access the value from different script as well. So if you're in the player movement script, you want to access this score, you can access it here too. So it's just like we can access it from everywhere without needing to do any special things. And it should work. Okay, now to and the reason why we're putting playerprefs.get in score and add one to it is so that every time we just get the old one. Like for example, we had a score of 3, we just take that score and add 1 to it and set it as a new score. So 3 plus 1 4, and then again it will be 4, and every time we catch another apple, that score will be 5 6 7, and that and so on. So to debug.log, between these quotation marks we'll write your score is, and we'll do a space so that it's not like, together. The is and the number is not together. So we'll copy this and paste here, and a semicolon at the end, and hit save. Let's go back to Unity and hit play. And over here, and once we collected, we can see your score is 1 2, and I'll try to collect more. Okay, I'm missing too much. Okay. Oh, okay, come on, at least 1. There we go. 3, your score is 3, your score is 4. Okay, I missed that one. And you guys can see it updating. See, I'll try to catch some more. There goes, your score is 5, your score is 6. Okay, come on, one more. Okay, I cannot catch him. Okay, your score is 7. See, it updates. So it is working, the player prep is working. And let's stop playing, and we got it to show up there in the console, but we want to show it on the screens, like over here. We want to make it so it show there. So we'll right click, go to UI in the hierarchy, and we'll select text and click import TMP essentials. And we'll also import the examples and extra. Okay, it's compiling. Okay, it's done. Now we can close this window and clear the console. And now we can see there's a text in the middle of our screen. What we can do is go ahead and adjust the position of X, the X position, and we're going to set it to -325. Okay, it looks good. Now in the position Y, we can set it to 150. And there you go. It looks okay. Now we cannot see it over here. So we have to zoom out a ton, or we can just press F. And if you guys cannot press F, you can just have to zoom out a ton, and you see this big square. We have to zoom out until we see it clearly. And there you go. New text. And over here, we can change the text. It's a string. Okay, remember it's a string. So we can write score colon and we'll just do that much. And there's another way, like we just make it so like we just change the second text, and we in the second text we do put 0. So only this text I selected will be changing. But the way we're going to be doing is we're going to, in the score itself, we're going to the one text we're going to do this thing. Okay, I know it sounds confusing. And the maximum the score a person can get is up to six numbers. Okay, so like he should be able to get around 100 to 100,000. And now how we're going to make this score change is by going in the hierarchy, right click, create empty, and call it score manager, and copy that, go to add component, and we can press Ctrl V, new script, and remove the space, create and add, let it compile, and open it up. And here we will be adding a new, like in the top we will from the like press enter on the using Unity engine and write using TMP Pro. You're using TM Pro, and using this we get access to all the variables, like all these components variables, so we can use Text Mesh Pro. And on the top we'll just go ahead and press right, I mean the enter, and we'll remove these comments. Okay, we don't need them, I already explained to you what they do. And now we can write serialized field private tmp underscore text, and we'll be calling it score underscore txt, which stands for text, okay, in a short form. And what we are going to be doing is in the update method, where what we'll be doing is just copy this score text and then place it here, Control V, and we are going to actually I'll just write it down. And what we're going to be accessing its text component, and write player prefs dot get int score. So whatever we remember the player pref we made, we're going to get it, and we'll write dot to string, because this text it holds a string. Remember I told you. So we are just accessing the text over here through code, and now it should work. And one thing we need to do before that, we'll add this this quotation marks, and write score and colon space, and write after the quotation mark I'll add this +2, so it will show score, and like this, and then it will show the actual score. And what we can also do is, yeah, I think, yeah, that's okay, that's good. Okay, it works. Let's go back to Unity, hit save, and there we go, here we are. And let's go to well, actually, how about we'll just assign the score text to the score manager, the text we had in the canvas. And let's go to the Apple manager, and here we will delete this debug.log because we don't need it. But before that, let's go to the player movement. In the start method, enter and write player prefs dot set int, inside quotation mark we'll write score, and then up write a comma and write 0. So every time the game starts, the score should reset to 0. It shouldn't remain the same. So we'll do that. Okay, so what we'll be doing is, actually, let's move it from the player movement and go to the scene manager, I mean the score manager, because that is the one who is handling the score, right? So that's why we place it there. And let's go ahead and press play, and now the score is being presented, and there you go, it works. and it when it hits down, it just gets deleted, and every time we catch it, the score increments by one. Okay, I got 8 apples. Okay, I'm just gonna stop, and just going to rename the text to score underscore txt and create another empty game object, and I'll call it managers. So we're going to just like clean up the this hierarchy. So I'll select object spawner and score manager and put it there, and we'll make another empty object and call it environments. I'm going to select the ground and the spawn points and put it there, and I'm going to put it on top above the player, and there you go, it looks okay. And here what we're going to be doing is in this canvas we'll write make a game like empty object and call it game over screen, and inside the game over screen we'll create a 2D, actually not a 2D, actually let's go to the UI and select panel. So it will be the background, and I'll be pressing this and press hold alt and click this. Okay, it's not working. Let's go back again, hold alt and click it. Okay, it's not working. So use the scale and scale it by ourselves. 3 4, okay, 4 is good. And now we're going to change the y. Actually, the y is not working. Why? Let's go back here and change the x by pressing R. Okay, we'll change that manually, and let's go back to game view. As you guys can see, it creates an effect. Let's make it black. Okay, now it looks a bit better, and we're going to be calling it BG, which stands for background. And we're going to right click on the game over screen and then click UI text, text. Okay, and we'll write you lost, and we're going to be making it centered, and I'm going to be making it look better, so I'll make it red color, and we'll make it position to 50, the Y position. And what I'm going to be doing is adding an outline to it, and make the thickness of it like zero point 0.2. Okay, make it bold and change the fonts. Bangers, Oswald bold, Roboto bold. Yeah, Roboto bold looks way better. And I'm going to add the outline, change the thickness 0.3, and add the underlay. Underlay is basically the shadow. I'm going to make the offset X full, and then the Y also 1, and I cannot see it. Okay, let's make it offset the Y to -1, and there you guys can see it's like so small, tiny. So let's disable the outline, and there you guys go. You can see that it looks way better. So I'm not going to turn on the outline because it looks better without it. So I'm going to right click UI and create a button. Okay, remember they are not child of the background, so make sure they're not. Okay, so in the button, I'm going to rename the text inside the button and write try again. And let's go ahead in the game over screen. We basically made the game over screen, and I think we should make the like adjust the background and make it a bit more darker, or actually no, 132 should be okay. The opacity, the transparency, how transparent it is or not. Okay, so in the button everything is good. Okay, let's change the button name to try again underscore. Actually no, let's just leave it to try again. And I think everything's ready for the game over screen. And what we'll be doing is make make it so that it shows the game over screen whenever the apple falls down, and we're going to like add some more functionality. So we're going to go ahead to the Apple Manager and write in the whenever it touches the ground, we'll make player path dot set int, and this time we're going to be naming it lost. So the reason why we're using this is so like whenever if the player loses, right, we'll set the int to 1, and by 1 we can see if it is in a if statement. We can see if it is 1, we know the player has lost, and if it is not 1, and we also reset the 1 to 0 when the player it just the player like in the start of the, so the player doesn't loses at the start. So we'll go back into player movement, and remember we set the player preps dot set in loss to 0 in the start method, okay, not in the update. Now let's save it. And actually we need to do some more stuff to make it completed. We'll do if player preps dot int get int, and inside quotation mark lost, and we're going to check if it is equal to 1. And if it is equal to 1, we'll do, actually before that let's create another variable and make it a serialized field, and it should be a game object, and we'll call it game over screen. Okay, and add the semicolon at the end, and then what we'll do is copy that and put it here dot enable. Okay, enable is not it. Enable. Okay, why is it not showing active? No, it's not that. What's it? Okay, dot game object dot set active and false. So I mean true. Was so like whenever it has lost, it actually just turns on the game over screen. So that's why I'm putting true. So now it knows to turn it on. See, this is a true. Okay, that we saw that right now. And we have to do also one more thing. We have to assign it as well. So in the later we'll assign it. So now we're going to do else if player prefs dot has key. I mean get int, and it's a quotation mark lost is not equal to 1. And over here we can write game over screen dot game object dot set active false. And in the Apple Manager, okay, and actually go back to the movement, hit save, and go to the player, and now you can just assign the game over screen. Just drag it over there and hit play. And let's see. Okay, let's try to lose. Actually, 1 minute. Okay, let's lose. There you go. But the game is still running in the background, which is a issue. And the try again, we have to also make sure that the try again also works. So what we are going to be doing is go back to the Visual Studio, and in the when it's lost in the if statement we'll write time scale actually, and set it to 1, no 0. So the time is paused. Everything in the background will be stopped. Only this UI will be working, and in the start we'll do time scale equal 1f. So like every time in the start, the time should be 1. Okay, it shouldn't like one just stay paused forever. So let's hit play again and try to lose. And there you go, it's paused. Nothing is happening in the background. And now the next thing is we have to make the button work. So what we will be doing is in the managers, right click and create empty, and write in game manager. Okay, we'll be calling it game manager. And here we'll make another script called game manager without the space, new script, create and add, and wait for it to compile. And over here, let's just double click on it. And over here you guys can see it's loaded up. Okay, so now we'll just delete everything. Actually, yeah, we'll delete everything. And here we'll be creating a public void. The reason why we're making it public is so that the button can access it. So we'll call it a restart game. And let's save it and go back to the try again. And you see this dragon button, you see this on click. Let's create the plus and assign the game manager there, and then the no function will do game manager and restart game. Oh, what's not showing? Okay, I forgot to save. No worries. Now I hit saved. So we can go back to the try again and scroll down, and in the no function click on it, game manager, restart game. See, we can access it because of the public. Otherwise, if it been only void or private void, it wouldn't have shown. So now we're going to on this using in the Unity engine. We're also going to write using Unity engine dot scene management and you with this we're going to like reload this scene. So hit Control Shift B, and this is the scene which we'll be reloading. And if you have renamed your scene or change the new scene, press Add Open Scene, and that scene is the one we're going to load. So our scene is called Sample Scene, and we're going to write Scene Manager. Okay, I messed up the spelling. Scene Manager dot load scene, and we're going to be naming it. I mean, we're going to write the name of the scene. It is called Sample Scene, and we're actually that's it. We're going to put 0 instead, because if you guys had a different scene, it will cause some error. And if I didn't knew how to do it, even though or maybe you didn't understand it, even though I explained it, we're just going to put 0 there, which is going to work perfectly fine. So now, even if we rename the scene, it's still going to work. It still does the scene number 0. That's why. And now if we go ahead and hit play, and it should work. Okay, so let's go to the game manager, and no, I mean the try again button, and see if everything is assigned. Yes, it is. Hit play, and let's lose. Okay, let's hit try again. Okay, the game restarted, and the score also, it restarts. Look at it. Try again. There you go. It resets, not restarts, and everything seems to work fine. Okay, now the next thing we're going to be doing is go ahead and hit file new scene, and we're going to make it a 2D create. And over here, this will be the final thing we're going to be adding in this video. It is the username. So go in the UI, and we'll be choosing input field, and in this input field we will be assigning, the username itself. We're going to be writing it there, and I'm going to make it a bit bigger, 1.5, and I'll be positioning its y-axis to 100. Okay, actually 50. And in the text area, in the placeholder, we'll be modifying the and make it, instead of italic, let's make it bold, and make the opacity full, so it doesn't look that bad. And yeah, it looks good. Now it looks good. So now what we are going to be doing is, in the canvas, we're going to hit UI, and this time button, and this button will be the button which we're going to click to like finish entering our username, and we'll call it set username. And inside the drop down, we'll go to its text and write enter. Now as you guys can see, this is how we'll be entering our username. And here we'll just make the button a bit better, and like see what we can do. Right now, let's go to the set username and position it to -50. They seem too far apart. Actually, let's go to the input field and make it 25, the y, and then the button, make it -25. That looks a lot better. And let's hit Control S again. Go to the scenes folder and change and set the name to username. Okay, there we go. It looks nice. And let's hit create empty. We'll call it game manager, and we're not going to create another script. We'll just add component and game manager. And yeah, it should work. Let's go and double click the game manager. And here there's only restart game. So what we'll be doing is another public void, and we'll be calling it set username, and we're going to be adding nothing there. And we'll just write, what should we write? 1 minute. Okay, we'll write player press dot set string. Actually, we're going to the reason why we're doing it is to like set the username. So we'll, in the set string, in this the name of this, we'll do username, and we'll set the username value to it. So we're going to add in the scene, after the scene management, we're going to write using PM Pro, and we'll do I'll create another variable and call it serialize field private tmp input field. Okay, and we'll be calling it username underscore ip and end it with semicolon, and we're going to access dot we'll do dot string. Actually, no, dot name and no, what was okay, dot text. Yeah, we are going to write dot text, and whatever the player has wrote there, we'll get access to it. So we're going to do start because like we had the game manager in this game scene as well, so the game doesn't know like what it is. So we're going to do if username ip equal null, and we'll write debug.log. No, we'll write debug.log, and we'll write in here we'll input field not assigned, and at the end we'll put a semicolon, and over here we can just easily put it there, and we'll do if username ip aka username input field is null, we'll do return. And you guys will say, how did I do that? I didn't even add the the bracket and stuff. Well, it works because it's not multiple line, it's single line. It works. Okay, and it should work. Okay, let's hit save, control s. Okay, it's reloading. And now if we set our username, I mean the input field, will set it. Okay, it's set. The set username will go down, scroll down, click the plus button, and game manager will assign it, and game manager set username. There we go. I think it should work now. No, actually we need to do some more stuff. Let's see. And let's go to the scenes folder and go to the game view. I mean game scene. And over here we have to go to the canvas, and we'll create a new text, and we will be calling it username underscore txt, and we'll be positioning it on the right side of the screen. This will be the the username, so we'll be position equals to positive 325, position y is 150. Wait a minute, they look different. Okay, the reason why it's happening is because of the alignment. So let's scroll down and make it in the middle, and let's see about the score. Also make it in the middle, and also yeah, okay. That seems still kind of bad. Actually, I'll just set it to right, and let's see. Okay, okay, this is better. So in the game manager, we'll actually go ahead and edit it some more. In the game manager, what we will be doing is making another variable called serialize field, and we'll be making it private tmp text, and we'll be calling it user name underscore txt. Okay, and here we'll write if username text equals to null. No, I mean not equals to null. What we'll be doing is we'll do username underscore text dot text equals to player prefs dot get string, and the quotation mark will write username. Actually, the U should be capital. What am I doing? Okay, username. At the end, put a semicolon. So this should work. What we are doing is, if it is not like we have assigned it in the username scene and this game scene. So if it is not like the username is not null, so there's like we have assigned it. And one more thing we have then we should set the username. And one more thing is, we are in the set username, we have to write scene manager upload scene 1. And let's do that for the restart game as well. Let's go to the Apple manager, and no, it's not here. Score manager. Where's the restart game? Player movement. Where did I place it? Okay, object spawner. Okay, it's not even there. Okay, let's just close it. Where's the second player movement? Okay, let's close that too. Okay, it's not here. How where did I put? I made the restart game method. Okay, it's not here as well. Where is it? Okay. Oh, there it is in the game manager. Set it, in the load scene, put it to 1 as well. So now everything should work. The game is ready. So let's go ahead and also add this, the username scene into the build setting by pressing Ctrl Shift B, and then put the game view scene under. So it's the for like the scene number is 1. So now if we go ahead and play, let's go to the game view. Let's see if there's something wrong. Let's see. How many characters can it hold? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay, it can hold 9 characters. Okay. So let's go back to the game. I mean the username scene and go to the canvas input field. Scroll down and character limit should be 9. So a person cannot make a username more than 9 letters long. So here what we'll be doing is hit play and enter our username. I'll call myself SMB. So let's hit enter. Okay, it's not showing. What's wrong? Okay, let's stop the game. Let's go back and let's see. Let's go to the game scene. And over here, let's go to the managers, game manager, and oh, we haven't assigned the username text. So let's go to the canvas and assign the username text. And now if we go to the username scene and hit play, I will write my name, SMB, and enter. And there you guys see it. It's SMB. And now the game is ready. We have a game over screen, we have a score counter, we have the username, we have everything working, and that's it. And guys, if you have any feedback or like anything more which you guys want me to make, comment down below, and I have done whatever I could to make this video possible. And it takes so much time to make these kind of video and edit them. And if you guys want me to make, I said that I think. So if you guys have any other topic I have to make videos on, and I'll be making videos on particles soon because there's a person called Chrome and he wants to know about how to make particles, and I want to be teaching him and all of you. So go ahead and hit subscribe, and that's it. Bye.